with university. But I just want to pop on here very, very quickly because I know it's getting really dark and you guys probably won't be able to see me for long. I want to pop on here very quickly and talk about the idea of immersion. Immersion as it relates to learning a foreign language, a second or third language. Immersion is great, right? You are surrounded by the language everywhere you go. Maybe you are trying to. There's a whole bunch of videos on, and I started thinking about this recently because I went to McDonald's last week twice. It was the same McDonald's, and both times I realized I got the very same. There's a fire truck. I got the very same cashier each time. I got the same cashier each time, and each time she noticed I was. Are we good? I don't know. This live is bugging out. The cashier would say things, she would start to say the Japanese price to me in Japanese, and then when she would realize I'm not Japanese, she would immediately switch to English and say, with her Japanese accent, of course, 250 yen, just like that. And you could tell she was trying her hardest. She's not very, she's not the best person at English, but she did fine. The pronunciation was clear. I was able to understand her. And it was just odd because that has not never happened to me, but it hasn't happened to me for a long time now, having come to Japan about this time last year. Really, that's never really happened to me when I go to a restaurant or I go to a counter, and I look like a foreigner, of course, but I'm greeted in Japanese usually, "Irashaimase," something like that, and then I would just continue in Japanese. But this person tried to use English, and it just felt odd for me. It just felt odd for some reason, and it reminded me very quickly. It reminded me of other YouTubers, I guess you call them J-vloggers, who live in Japan. They are non-Japanese, they are foreigners, usually from America or Canada, and they make vlogs of their experience in Japan. I remember watching one guy called Give Me a Break Man. I still follow him on Instagram and stuff. I don't see his YouTube videos anymore. At least I'm sure he makes videos. Give me a break, man. Give me a flake, man. But I don't watch them lately. I haven't had the time. He's great. He's funny. But I remember watching one of his videos years ago, before I even came to Japan. And, oh gosh, it's already dark out. Shoot. Let me put some light on. Hey. And he told a story about his buddy who's also lived in Japan. And Give Me a Break Man, I think his real name is Victor. Victor can speak Japanese. He's very good at Japanese. He's fluent, and he's a very proficient speaker. He can speak Japanese, and I think that's because he's actually tried learning Japanese. And a lot of you would say, oh, well, that's mainly because he's lived in Japan for so long, and he has. He's lived in Japan for a long, long time, and I will say that has helped his Japanese study. However, he made a video himself about this topic, that living in Japan does not guarantee that you will learn Japanese. That is not, it's not a method of learning Japanese, simply living in the country. That's not how language learning works. You can live somewhere, you can live in a country that speaks a foreign language, and you can never learn a lick in that language. He mentioned one of his friends who's lived in Japan such a long time and still can't speak any Japanese. Sure, he may know like basic stuff like kore kudasai or onegai shimasu, sumimasen, hajimemashite, yoroshiku onegai shimasu, maybe simple phrases like that, right? But this guy couldn't really understand everything that was said to him. He couldn't really speak what was on his mind. And I've met people like that so many times here in Japan. When I first came to Japan, I was living in Western Japan, and this American couple that has lived there for years, they both teach at a university, the same university, and different departments. The wife learned Japanese in college, and she actually passed the N1, the JLPT N1 level. So she's very proficient in Japanese, and she regularly uses Japanese for her work, with her students, things like that. The husband, on the other hand, he has done no Japanese study. He has done no Japanese study. And he still can't understand anything he hears. You know, like everything he hears, he still really can't understand a lot of it. He can't speak a word either. And that's one of the primary examples that just living in a foreign country does not guarantee you the ability to speak that language in the future, which is why the title of my video is immersion, or immersing with quotation marks, because people like that, people like Victor's friend, people, the husband that I just mentioned, they are not really immersing themselves. They may be immersed in a sense, in that, you know, they are living in the country, or they're living in a place where there's lots of native speakers of the language they want to learn, but they are not putting in that hard work to really immerse themselves and try to figure out what is being said. You know, actual immersion study, actual immersion entails effort on your part. Language learning, unfortunately, for I'm going to say non-babies, language learning for non-babies is an effort. It takes effort. It is a process, okay? Babies, there is evidence to suggest that they learn languages naturally. There is a mechanism inside that causes them to naturally pick up language. So for them, in a sense, it is kind of effortless, I guess. But even then, babies need a lot of input to learn language. Adults, it's a little fuzzier with adults, okay? Adults, you can have a lot of input, but it's only going to get you so far. Like I said, the husband I just mentioned in my previous story, he could only say basic things like konnichiwa. He would say it like that, konnichiwa. And he would say arigato. And he would say sumimasen, you know. He was a funny guy. He was a great guy. Love that guy. But he couldn't speak Japanese despite having lived there for years and years and years and years, you know. Anyways, the point of this video is that if you want to immerse, if you want to learn a language through immersion, don't think that just living in a country with that language is going to be an automatic ticket for, you know, knowing that language. It's not. You got to put in the effort. You have to do your vocab studies. You have to do your flashcards, right? You have to look up grammar. You have to parse sentences. You have to figure out what is being said here and there. You have to use your dictionary, right? I use a dictionary almost every single day. And, you know, language learning, and by the way, you can learn a language, you can immerse yourself in a language without having to live in a target country, right? You can immerse yourself in Japanese by living in America. There's plenty of ways to do that. I did that when I first started learning Japanese. I remember taking a bunch of flashcards and I wrote furniture words in Japanese, and I literally took tape and I stuck those flashcards onto the corresponding furniture item. I literally wrote out beddo, and I stuck it on my blow-up mattress, which was my bed at the time. I took the word door, and I slapped it on my door from my room. I took the word ofuro, which is a bathtub, and I put it on my bathtub. Needless to say, that paper flashcard quickly degraded and went away. But you can immerse yourself anywhere. And again, the caveat with that is that you can also not immerse yourself anywhere, right? Even in a target country with a target language that you are wanting to learn. So that's my spiel for today. Okay, it's gonna be a little short. I know it's dark. I haven't been on here in a while. I just want to say really quickly, today is the due date for my firstborn child. She seems very comfy inside mommy, so we're not sure if she will come out today, actually. But here's hoping that everything goes well. I love you guys. Thank you for always watching and your wonderful, insightful comments. I really have some great comments from some of you. I learn new things through doing these on YouTube. So I'm going to keep doing some of these lives after work on my way home. Keep up the good work, guys. Study. Do your best. You are valued. You are loved. Have a great night or great day wherever you are. Bye.